Imagine waking up before the sun rises in a cramped, freezing room with soot on the windows and a thin blanket barely covering your feet. It is London, 1862. The fog rolls through the alleys like a slow-moving ghost, and the city has not yet stirred. In a slum near Whitechapel, a woman named Eliza wraps her shawl tightly and gets ready to begin her day. Eliza is a street vendor. She sells meat pies, cold, underfilled, but cheap enough for workers and children to afford. Like thousands of others in London, she lives hand to mouth, relying on the shillings she can gather on cobblestone corners. By candlelight, Eliza kneads dough from coarse flour and leftover drippings she saved from the butcher's scraps the night before. Her fingers are red from the cold water she used to wash her hands. There is no stove, just a coal-burning grate, half working. She shapes the pies quickly, tucks in the filling, mostly potato, some fatty beef, and bakes them on a metal tray balanced over her fire. The smell is faint, but enough to bring the rats closer. She shoos one away with her foot and sighs. Her children are asleep on the floor behind her. No school today. They can't afford the penny fee. Eliza hopes she can sell at least 10 pies before noon. That would be enough for bread and a small bit of coal. By 7 o'clock, the streets begin to buzz. The fog is still heavy, mixing with coal smoke and the sour scent of refuse. Eliza walks with her wooden box of pies hanging from a strap around her neck. Each step echoes in the alley. She passes other vendors, boys selling newspapers, an old woman with matches, a man yelling about pickled eggs. Competition is everywhere, but so is camaraderie. They nod at each other like soldiers on the same battlefield. At Bishopsgate, she finds a spot by the iron railing. Her voice is not loud, but steady. Hot pie, penny a pie. A factory worker buys 2. A boy steals 1. Eliza doesn't chase him. She knows his face. He's stolen before. She'll tell his sister later. She sells ribbons 3 streets down. By mid-morning, Eliza's box is half empty. Her feet ache. She hasn't eaten. A constable passes, eyes her suspiciously, but says nothing. She doesn't have a hawker's license. Those cost money. If he chooses, he can fine her. Or worse. She moves her spot slightly, nearer to the churchyard gate. Some men from the docks pass by. One smells of gin. Another tosses her a coin without taking a pie. She thanks him. He doesn't respond. Children crowd her briefly, small hands exchanging copper for pastry. One girl begins to cry. She lost her coin. Eliza gives her a pie anyway. As the sun rises higher, the fog begins to lift. The streets are louder now. A group of young boys runs past her, laughing, chasing one another. A carriage rolls by, splashing mud onto her skirts. She sighs, dabs at the stain with her apron, and continues. An elderly man stops and talks to her. He remembers her mother, who sold pies on the same corner decades ago. They share a few words. He leaves with a pie and a slower step. She sees a familiar girl sitting by a lamp post. It's Sarah, who used to work in the mill until the injury. Her leg is wrapped in a dirty cloth. Eliza sits beside her briefly, shares a crust, and they talk about the past, times before rent hikes, before licenses, before the fog felt heavier. Eliza stands and sells again. Her voice is a little hoarse now. Another hour passes. She's almost out. She stops by the pump to get a drink. The water tastes like iron. Her back hurts. A man bumps into her and grumbles. She says nothing. At the market entrance, a fight breaks out. 2 boys argue over a halfpenny. Eliza steps back, careful not to get involved. She sees the butcher's apprentice. He nods and gives her a wink. Tomorrow, maybe there'll be scraps for her. She looks toward the Thames. The smell is strong, and the sky darkens slightly. Rain may be coming. She moves under an awning and clutches her box. By noon, Eliza has only 2 pies left. She saves one for her youngest child. The other she gives to a coughing man hunched beside a wall. He nods silently, and she walks away. She earns 7 pence today, enough for a half loaf of bread, a little milk, and just maybe a candle. Back home, her children wait. She unwraps the food with a tired smile. The room is still cold, but it is warm compared to outside. Her eldest asks if she saw the man with the accordion today. She says no. They listen together for sounds from the street. Her middle child draws on the floor with a burnt stick. The youngest sleeps in a corner. Eliza cleans the pan, prepares the dough for tomorrow, and adds sawdust to the fire to keep it going just a bit longer. She stares out the window, cracked and dirty, watching the lamps outside flicker in the wind. She remembers being young herself, watching her mother do the same. Her daughter will likely remember her this way too, her hands still dusted with flour. She listens to the sounds outside. Horse hooves, shouting, laughter, crying. She thinks about tomorrow, about more pies, more fog, and sleep comes gently, if only for a few hours.